Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of July 7th through 13th. Today is Saturday, July 13th. So this week was a stressful one. My coworker was on vacation this week, and there just were a lot of things going on with work. Plus I was trying to, cover her desk and stuff. So I had some really long days this week and just a lot of stuff. Plus I had to take 2 classes for my job, and so yeah, very stressful. So I was ultra tired this week, so I didn't get a lot of reading done, but I do have some things that I have read that I will talk to you about. I am in the middle of 2 books, so I will talk to you about those. I will have a Yarnie update for you that includes a yarn haul, and so that'll be fun. And then we'll do some TV chat at the end, so let's get into it. So I actually managed to finish 5 things this week. I read a lot of manga because I was kind of feeling like a little empty that the LGBT plus manga readathon was done and I wasn't reading manga every day. And so I did try to focus on my novel though, because I had 1 novel on the go that I didn't have an audiobook for, and so I'll talk to you about that first. I finished Pacific Vortex by Clive Cussler. This is the first book in the Dirk Pitt series. This series follows Dirk Pitt, and at the beginning of this particular installment, he is sunbathing on Oahu when he sees a naval communication capsule in the ocean. And so he goes and retrieves it, reads the contents, takes it down to Pearl Harbor, and hands it to the person who the contents are addressed to, and he gets roped into trying to find the missing nuclear submarine. And so I had a really hard time getting into this. I know I talked to you about this in earlier episodes, but for whatever reason, this one took me like 3 tries to properly get into it. Once I did get into it though, I was pretty entertained. Like I said, he's on Oahu. It's my home island. I am very familiar with all of the places that they talk about, where he was having drinks, where he was investigating, where he was sunbathing. And so that kind of really helped me get into this story. But there were just, I don't know, it wasn't really like action-packed like I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought this was going to be a super high intensity, like, adventure type novel, but it really wasn't. That being said, it is a first in a series book, so maybe it takes off, in future installments, but for me, this one was more of a, like, medium, I guess you would say, intensity adventure. There were parts in here that kind of felt like James Bond. Like I was watching a James Bond movie. I've only read 1 James Bond book, and I will probably never read any of the other James Bond books just because I hated being in James Bond's head in the novel. Like, I grew up on James Bond films. It's something that I think back on a lot because it's something that I did with my grandfather. It's something that my grandfather and I would sit down and do together. We watched James Bond films. And so I've got a special place in my heart for James Bond films, but I will never probably read another James Bond book because I just hated his thoughts. They were not good. And so for me, when I was reading this and watching how things were playing out, it definitely felt like it was trying to be one of those older James Bond films, like the ones with Roger Moore. That's kind of how I was picturing things going down towards the end of this book. It's not a bad thing, but there was also kind of like a romance line thrown in real late that I was just like, really? You're not James Bond, dude. Like, why does there need to even be this like romance line in here? I didn't understand it. It came in so late. And there wasn't enough buildup in the story for me to believe that there was this kind of romance line going on. So all in all, it was still entertaining. I'm still wanting to continue with this series, mostly because I think the 4th or 5th book in this series has to do with the Titanic. And you know that I really, really enjoy things about Titanic. I enjoy learning about Titanic. It just fascinates me. All of the like research and stuff that's been done on the Titanic, and seeing the things that that people are seeing when they go down to the Titanic, and how she's like, you know, succumbing to the elements and things like that. It's just really fascinating to me. It's fascinating. And so I really want to get to at least that book. But this wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it was bad. I gave it 3 stars. I might have even given it a 3.5. It was entertaining. I enjoyed that it happened mostly on Oahu, because for me, someone who's been away from home for a while and only get to visit maybe every other year, if I'm lucky, it takes me back, you know, it takes me back. Plus, you know, this book was published a while ago. It was published 1982, which is a while ago. Definitely not what Hawaii or Oahu looks like now, but I can definitely remember what Hawaii was like in the 80s. And so, yeah, I enjoyed this one. It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be, but I'm hoping that it will, you know, kind of level up for me as the installments go by. So, yeah, I don't have the next one in this series, but I did put it on hold from my library. So, we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I'm glad that I finally got into this series. I know my mom's read a few of these, but she's the type of person that will read things out of order. I don't know how she does it. It irritates me to the max, but I cannot do that. So she doesn't even remember, I don't think, which ones that she did read because it was so long ago. But I'm glad I finally started this series. I'm hoping it'll get better, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next one. So that's Pacific Vortex. Then the rest of what I read is manga. So let me get the one digital title out of the way first, because otherwise I'm going to forget to tell you about it. And so I read volume 1 of 11224 Happy Marriage. This is by Peko Watanabe. It's published by Kodansha, and I would probably say it's either rated older teen or mature. Definitely older teen. I'm not sure about mature yet, but it could be rated mature. So this story is about a woman who is married to a man, and they have, for the most part, a great marriage. Her husband is caring, he's attentive, but their marriage, as good as it is sexless. And they get along great, though. They talk to each other, they're there for each other, they take care of each other, but they don't have sex. And for the most part, it's because of the woman. She pretty much told her husband she doesn't want to have sex with him. And so she allows him to have an extramarital affair. And so now it's been a couple of years, I guess, and she's had some things come up in her life where she's starting to think maybe she wants to change her mind about having a sexless marriage with her husband. And so this story kind of follows what makes her come to that kind of realization that maybe she wants something different, and how she feels about the fact that her husband is having an affair, like for real. Because up until this point, or at least until we start the story, she kind of really doesn't have any feelings about it. She knows about it, their marriage is good, and that's that. The whole reason why I started this particular series was because I started watching the drama adaptation of it. There is a live action drama adaptation of this series on Amazon Prime Video. And so I watched the first episode and I enjoyed it. I enjoy the actor that plays the husband. I've watched him in other dramas years ago. Like, he's the main lead in Ottoman, and so there was that draw for me there. But yeah, I enjoyed watching that first episode. So I wanted to see what the manga was like, to see if it was even close. Because, you know, sometimes adaptations are different. Red, white, and royal blue was different. But I will say that the drama adaptation is pretty close to at least the first volume of the manga that I read. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how close it will be going forward. And so, yeah, I enjoyed the first volume. Like I said, it was very close to what I watched in the first episode. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this couple. And so I gave this one 4 stars, I think. And so, yes, I do have 3 volumes of this, I think, purchased digitally. And then I'll probably read the rest on the K-Manga app. I'm not sure that this is one that I want to continue to collect, but we'll see how I feel as I read through them. So, yeah, enjoyed that. And I got a digital manga read, which is nice because I don't tend to read my digital manga that I purchased. So, that was good. Then I read volumes 21 and 22 of LDK. This one is by Ayu Watanabe, published by Kodansha, rated older teens. So this is our story about the relationship between Aoi and Shusei, who are living on their own in an apartment complex. And Shusei is a very popular guy at their school. Aoi's pretty much nobody. And Shusei's apartment ends up getting damaged, so he ends up having to move in with Aoi. So the story follows them like trying to hide the fact that they're living on their own, and not to mention the fact that they're living together, because obviously both of those things are strictly prohibited by the school. And eventually we follow a relationship between the two of them and all of the trouble that happens with, you know, trying to hide that from their peers and things like that. I really enjoy this series. It's not a perfect series. I definitely had some issues with some of the things that happened early on in their relationship, but I enjoy seeing them go through day by day and, you know, work out things together, and they're growing love for each other. And yeah, something definitely happens in these 2 volumes as far as kind of outside stressors to their relationship, I would say. So they're kind of working through that at the moment, but I'm enjoying watching their relationship grow, and I ended up giving this volume 5 stars. I just really, really enjoyed the direction that the story took here. Even though there's conflict, I feel like the way that they're working through things is very, mature. I feel like it's very mature, and they're communicating with each other well at this point of the story. And some of the other things that happened with other characters that we are visited by in this volume, I just really liked how everything worked out as far as those situations went in this volume as well. So really, really enjoyed this one. And then I started on my Monochrome Manga Club selections because our meeting is this coming week. And so I read volume 1 of Shadow's House by Somato. This one's published by Yen Press, rated teen. So because this is one of the Monochrome Manga Club selections, I will not be telling you my thoughts on this one. So you're going to have to wait for my manga first impressions video, which will be out next week, Monday. So just wanted to let you know that I did finish that. So that is everything that I read to this point. I did start a new book since I finished Pacific Vortex, and I'm in the middle of one. So we'll go through the one I'm in the middle of currently. That is The Never Game by Jeffrey Deaver, the first book in the Coulter Shaw series. I talked to you about this one last week. This one is the inspiration for the TV show Tracker. So we follow Coulter Shaw, and he is a rewardist. He makes his living collecting rewards for finding things. So like finding missing people or pets or treasures or whatever. At this point, he is working a case that is regarding finding a missing teen. And I'm enjoying it. It's not super like thrilling. It's not real gripping, but it definitely has the feel of the TV show, and I'm just really enjoying it. I'm listening to it on audio. My audio borrow from the library actually expired, so the audiobook did go back to the library, but I have access to a second library. I have like 2 library memberships. And so the other library had the audiobook available. So I borrowed a copy from that library and continued to listen after my first borrow went back to the library. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm about 75% done. And so I think I will probably finish that one this coming week. And so that will be nice. And then the other book that I started just last night, I'm only 1 chapter in, and that is Thresher by Michael Cole. This is a shark thriller. Because it's Shark Week, I definitely wanted to make sure I picked up a sharky read. And so this one, I'm not far into it, but there definitely has been an attack by a thresher shark. It says that in the aftermath of a hurricane, a series of strange events plagued the coastal waters off of Florida. People go into the water and never return. There's corpses of other sea creatures found adrift and things like that. And so, yeah, so far we pretty much just got an attack by a thresher shark. And so, yeah, it is everything that I want it to be as far as this goes. As far as shark fishing goes, you know, I've read a few. Several of them open up with shark attacks, so you know exactly what you're getting into. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this one. And so, yeah, I don't know about you though, but that does not look like a thresher shark to me. But yeah, it kind of looks more like a mix between a tiger and a bull and a great white. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to getting more into this one as the week goes by. So that's everything that I've read. That's everything I'm currently reading. So I guess it's now time for another Yarnie update. So we'll start with the biggest one, or at least the one in the biggest bag. This is the Small World bag that my mom made for me. And in here is my niece's mini Last Unicorn. So I did say that I had a couple classes this week. And so I was able to put in a little bit on both of my works in progress, or the bigger ones at least. And so just a reminder, this is what it looks like. Still have not woven in those ends on the yoke. But very, very cute. I worked down the body while I was in class. So I think my marker is back here. I've got my Elmo here. So this is where I was the last time I talked to you. And this is where I am now. So I would say that's probably about another 3 inches. So yeah, I would say I've got 5 to 6 inches so far. And my goal is to make the body about 13 inches total. So I've got about another 5 inches or so before I start doing the rib on the bottom. This one's going by super fast because it is such a tiny sweater. It's so cute. I'm very, very happy with this one. Still my favorite of the 2 that I made for my nieces. But I guess I'm a little biased because this is my favorite color. And so, yes. Doing really well on that. Just going round and round and round. At this point, I might not have this to work on during the Olympics. And if I do, it probably will only be sleeves. But we'll see. Like I said, I am on vacation during the entire Olympics. It's something that I started a couple years ago, or a couple rounds of the Olympics ago, and I just really enjoyed having focused time to watch the Olympics. And you know, that also gives me focused time to work on my knitting projects. And I don't know, there's just something about watching the Olympics that always like helps me with my inspiration to work on my projects. So I not only get to watch the Olympics, I also get to work on my projects and put some good progress on those. So that's great. So that's what I've got so far on my niece's Mini Last Unicorn. Mini Last Unicorn is a pattern that is by Regan of Bad Wolf Girl Studios. I do have the pattern that encompasses not only the child size sweater, but the adult size sweater. And is there a cowl pattern or something? She does these pattern packages that just have a bunch of different things that you can do with the charts. And I have one of those. I am probably going to need to make a mini last unicorn for myself. I mean, it's really cute. I didn't think that I would want one, but I went ahead and purchased the pattern that had the adult size in it just in case. And now that I've done 2, I think I do need one for myself, especially having that like fruit salad yarn in the yoke for the unicorns. I really, really like that. And so, yeah, that's where we are with my niece's mini last unicorn. I've got my Gemini in the Somato bag. Gemini is by Jane Richmond. It's a free pattern on the Knitty website. And so I got a little bit of progress in on this too, but I didn't get as much as I did get done on the mini last unicorn because this item is so much larger. And so this is what it looks like now. My progress keeper is on the back, I think. Yes, and so I got my dino here. So the last time I talked to you, I was here. And I've got 1.5 inches or so. Yeah. That's just because there are so many more stitches, but I'm still enjoying the progress on this. And so, yeah, it is definitely drying out my hands though. I will say that this yarn is not very nice to my hands. And I will also say that I did notice that because I put in a good amount of time on this, my like thumb pain, I told you that I hurt my thumb, it flared up again this week. It was like healing because I wasn't putting as much like focus time on this. I would only work on this for short bursts of time and then switch off to something else. But because I put in like literally hours on this one focused, I did flare up my thumb pain again. So it's got to be this yarn. It has to be because it's cotton linen. I'm almost ready for my fit skein, but it's Knit Picks Cotton in the Swan colorway. It is 70% tangy cotton and 30% linen, and it's a DK weight. And so, yeah, I know it's this because when I didn't work on the Gemini as focused, my fingers started to heal. But now it hurts again, and I'm getting dry patches all over my fingers from the yarn. And so, yeah, it's not fun, that part about getting the dry patches and the peeling and the pain. But like I said, I am very happy with how this looks. I think this is going to be one of those staple pieces that I'm just going to be able to wear over and over and over again. And I'm really, really liking how this looks. So that is the Gemini. It's probably going to take me a while to get this done just because of how many stitches there are. Plus it's only on a size 4 needle, and so that also, you know, it makes the stitches really small. But yeah, I'm about ready for my fit skein. And I think my plan is that I'm just going to keep going down the body until I get to like the last 2 skeins. And then I'll work on the sleeves first and then finish up the body with whatever I have left. And so, yeah, very happy with that project so far. I just wish it didn't cause me so much pain and like dry patches on my hands. I've never really had that before. But it could also just be that I'm just getting old and dry skin is just something that I need to deal with. But yeah, this part of my finger is peeling. This part right here is peeling, as well as this part right here and this part right here. So yeah, it's not fun, but you know, what are you gonna do? And it doesn't help that I just keep picking at it because there, you know, you feel that dry patch and it just like, I don't know, for me it's just always like, oh, I start to hyper focus on that. But yeah, still really happy with this project, just working away as I can when I can. But I think I need to make sure that I don't focus time on this and that I only work on it in short spurts, because that's what seems to prevent at least the pain in my thumb. So yeah, that is my Gemini. And then my last work in progress is my daughter's Christmas Crunkled socks in the Pineapple Yarns Christmas bag. I have just been kind of working on this slowly. And so just a reminder, this is what it's going to eventually look like. Main yarn here is Lolo Did It's Hippo for Christmas. And then the heel and toe is a Cascade Heritage in a teal color. This is Kate Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast, Crunkled socks pattern. And so it's got this really nice like bubbly texture on it. So last time I talked to you, I was just about ready to put in the heel. And so now I've got this much. So I did put in the heel. You can see my little stitch marker there. It's just a little like angel that I made several years ago. And so yeah, I did put in the heel, and I'm slowly working away on the foot now. I'm done with my gusset decreases. And so I'm just like working my way down the foot. I've got about 35 more rows before the toe. And so, yeah, this one's going by really fast. So I've kind of been thinking about what I want to do for my next textured project, because I need something with a little bit more interest between all of the stockinette stitches that I'm doing on both of the sweaters. I think I've decided on my next sock theme, and that it's going to be Shark Week because I have some Shark Week like related sock yarn, and so I just need to settle on a pattern. I'm looking at 2 different ones right now, and I'm not quite sure which one I want to go with, but I think it's definitely going to be Shark Week themed. And so that's real great. I'm excited for that. Just because I'm like in Shark Week mode right now. We have been watching the shark documentaries on Disney Plus and just really enjoying it. And so yeah, that is all of my works in progress. And so I guess I'll jump into the yarn haul right now. I actually have a yarn haul and some notions. I think I mentioned to you last week that Otterly Adorable Knits was having a sale, and so I did go in for that. Did go ahead and purchase myself another bag, and so I got this one from her shop. This is an extra large bag from Otterly Adorable Knits, and it's her Christmas gnomes. And so you can kind of see they're like wintry gnomes. It's really, really cute. Obviously, it's my color. And so, like I said, it's from Otterly Adorable Knits. She called it the Snowy Gnomes, and this is her extra large zipper bag. It has a handle on the side. The inside is yellow. And then I also picked up the matching yarn cake holder. So I really like these because I can just put my cake of yarn on the floor and use it as a yarn bowl. And so this is the extra large yarn cake wrapper. And so yes, she has little tags right here that tell you what size it is, and this is her brand tag. But yes, really enjoy that she sells the matching accessories, because you can also get the matching like stitch holders, stitch markers, and things like that if you get them when she releases the collections. But really enjoy Otterly Adorable Knits products. So I got that, and then I had to get some notions as well. So I went in for the stitch markers. I'll take them out of the Ziploc just so that it reduces the glare. But I got these. These are her like Honu. She calls them sea turtles. So there's 2 turtles and 2 like sea creature ones. So this is like a school of fish, and this one is a jellyfish. I got them half and half, rings and lobster claws, because I like to have that variety. And so I can use like the lobster claws for a progress keeper, and then I can use the ones with the rings for stitch markers. But yes, I had to get these because I do have her sea turtles bag in like the medium size, I think, and so these would match that. So I got these, and then I got the additional Sesame Street characters, only in the stitch markers though, because I have a collection in the half rings, half claws, and so I wanted to add to that collection. Plus, with this set, I got Grover, which I don't have in my collection. And so now I have Grover, and then I've got duplicates of some of these. So there's a Big Bird, there's Cookie Monster, there's Elmo, and the Grouch. You saw Elmo and the Big Bird on my mini last unicorn sweater. But yeah. So she called this the Sunny Days collection. And so, yeah, I got all of those on rings. And then I got one of these sets. This is one of her containers sets. And you can see it is the Evil Queen from Snow White. So these are Disney villains. And again, I got half rings, half lobster claws. That's Hades from Hercules on the lobster claw. And she chooses which ones she puts what on if you get the half and half. She also does the light bulb pins if you like that instead. This is Ursula on a ring. It's Captain Hook on a claw. It's Maleficent on a ring. The Evil Queen on a ring, and Jafar on a ring. And so, yeah, I thought those would be cute to have. I would have gotten the Maleficent top, but she was all sold out of Maleficent, so I went for Evil Queen instead. And so I really like these containers because it keeps it all nice and contained, and you know what set it is just by looking at the top. So I have two other sets. I have the Sunny Days set, the Sesame Street set. So there's a Sesame Street character. Can't remember which one it is, but it has a Sesame Street character on it. And I'll house these in that container as well. And then I have her Sharks set, which I have a matching bag and cake wrapper for as well. I would have gotten more of the shark set if it was in stock, but it wasn't, and so I didn't get to expand that set. But I did get the sea turtles instead, so I'll probably house the sea turtles in with the sharks. And then I got this extra little stitch marker. It's on a ring. It's just like a resin sparkly moon as a thank you. And so, yeah, that's what I got from Otterly Adorable Knits. Really, really enjoy their product. It was a great sale also, and I'm happy to have these new things for my collection. And then I have some yarn to share with you. And so I got my yarn club from Hawari Bazaar. It's not an anime yarn club this time. It is a K-pop club because the Anime Yarn Club was Violet Evergarden, and it's not a series that I've watched or have any interest in at this point. And so I skipped it, but she also has a K-pop club, and the K-pop club was Big Bang, and we're very big fans of Big Bang, and so we had to get it. And so this is what it looks like. This is inspired by their song Bang Bang Bang. So really, really fun, bright, fluorescent pink and orange with speckles. And then you've got the black for the contrast heels and toes and stuff. Really, really like this one. Definitely reminds me of the artwork that came out with their single. And so, yes, Bang 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 from Big Bang. Really, really enjoyed that. So that's the KPop June Yarn Club. This is the 75-25 Superwash Merino Nylon, 463 yards for the full skein, 92 yards for the mini, 120 grams total. So I'm very happy with that. I haven't actually seen her post for the yarn clubs this month yet, so I'm gonna need to go look at that. But the other thing that I got was a pre-order from Big Little Yarn Company. That's Mel, and she is in Japan, and she has the Big Little Yarn Club podcast. And so Mel was having a Hanabi pre-order, Cherry Blossom Festival pre-order, and so I went in for some of that a few months ago, and it finally arrived from Japan. And so I ended up getting 2 sock sets. I have the first sock set here, so you can see it's Big Little Yarn Company. And so the sock set is Spring Rain, which is the full skein here, with Haru, which is spring. And so I had ordered this one. She did a couple of ways you could get these collections or skeins. I opted for the sock set because why not? Really, really like this one. So this is on her trusty sock, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 437 yards and 87 yards for the mini. That's the first sock set I got. And then the second sock set I got was this one. It's much more pastel-y. This is the Hanami and Sakura set. So Hanami is this full skein and the Sakura is the mini on the same base. I should turn it around so that you can see Big Little Yarn Company. And so, yes, I have a couple of other skeins from Mel before she moved to Japan, but I haven't knit them up yet. So this is my first time actually ordering from her when she was in Japan. And so it was an interesting experience, but really, really happy with these skeins. They're so pretty. And then the last thing I got from Mel was the mini skein set that she had of all of the variegated skeins. So I have those here. There are 7 skeins, I think. So we've got Wildflower. So these are 87 yards each. So Wildflower. Wisteria, which is like a variegated purple. It says Lichen, which I know is a very popular color for her. She's had it several times before, and she did dye it before she left for Japan as well. She had it in her shop before a couple of times, and so yes, Lichen. It says Hanami, which you've seen in my sock set. This one is definitely, I feel like it pulls more blue than the one that I have with my sock set, but that might just be because my mini skein for the sock set is pink. That's Hanami. Azalea, which is like a variegated pink with purples and yellows. Yume, which I think is Dream. I have a full skein of this one. Mine pulls more yellow though, because it was a different batch. Obviously, I bought that one before she moved to Japan. This one is definitely more pink leaning, but I really, really like this colorway. I almost bought another sock set with the Yume, but I said, no, you don't need it. You already have a full skein. Just use the one you got. But yes, very pastel-y. It's got like all those pastel colors. Really, really like Yume. And then this is Spring Rain, which you've seen in my sock set. This one's definitely darker, pulls more blues, really, really like the spring rain colorway. And so, yes. I am very, very happy with those. It was worth the wait for sure. Definitely an interesting experience purchasing something, or at least yarn from Japan. I've purchased other things from Japan before, but never yarn. And so, yeah, it was an interesting experience. I would definitely purchase from Elle again. I really, really enjoy these colors, and I enjoy your podcast as well. So definitely check out the Big Little Yarn Club podcast if you're interested. And yeah, I know she's doing an anime yarn club as well, but the animes that she's doing the yarn clubs on, I don't particularly have like any kind of connection to. I mean, she does have a Naruto one, and I did consider going in on that, but it's not like one of those like animes that is like super, that I'm super into. Like, I watched it when my daughter was watching it when she was growing up. I haven't ever finished. I do want to though, but it's just not like one of those ones where I'm like, yes, I need something inspired by a Naruto colorway. And so I had decided to go ahead and pass on that. But yeah, very happy with everything that I've received. Got some great things. Again, still very inspired by like yarn projects at the moment. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that journey right now. I'm just like really like looking forward to vacation, so I have some dedicated crafting time and just like dreaming projects and things. You know how that goes, right? So yes, very happy with everything. It's been a while since I have had like a good sized haul of notions and yarn bags from people other than my mother and things like that. So yeah, very, very happy with everything. Really had some enjoyable reads. I'm looking forward to getting more reads in over the next week. I'm looking forward to meeting up with our manga club this week and talking about all of our selections. Again, I'll be reading the rest of the selections throughout the week. So that'll be my focus. And yeah, so I already told you what we were watching. We were doing some Shark Week documentaries. I think we're doing When Sharks Attack right now on the Disney Plus app. We watched a couple Titanic documentaries. We watched Drain the Titanic, which again is on Disney Plus. And we watched Titanic 25 years after. Yeah, I think it was 25 years after the movie. It was with James Cameron, and they were going through and checking to see, like, with the technology we have today, some questions that had come up, like whether Jack would have been able to survive, or did the ship actually break that way. And so it was really, really interesting. I told you I watched 1122 for a Happy Marriage. I did watch a couple more episodes today, so I think I'm up to like episode 3. Still really enjoying it. Oh, and then we're up to date on Criminal Minds Evolution, which is always very interesting. Starting to bring in more characters from the past, which I've been really enjoying this season. And so, yeah. I think that's pretty much everything that I have for today. Let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to, what you've been reading, what you've been crafting on, what you've been watching. Have you been watching any shark documentaries? I'd really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me, I guess, some kind of Christmassy emoji, since I've got this new Christmassy bag down in the comments below, or any kind of like sea creature maybe for the Shark Week content that I was talking to you about. That would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.